We're going to do our math and we're going to read this book because we're going to do fractions. Can you say fractions?
Fractions.
Okay, fractions. So this book is called Apple Fractions. Apple Fractions. And starts with this. This book is about apples and math. Apples are a fruit that we eat. They do not grow under rocks. They do not swim in the ocean. They are not made in a factory. Apples grow on trees. Where do apples grow?
On trees.
All right, do you find apples in the ocean?
No.
Are they made in factories?
No.
Where are they made? Where are they where do we find apples?
In trees.
Very good. Okay, apples. Thousands of different types of apples are grown around the world. Apples can be red, yellow, green, or some combination of these three colors. So what color are apples? What three colors?
Green, red,
And what else?
and yellow.
Green, red, and yellow. So there's three types of apples, three colors of apples, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is a fraction? Who knows what a fraction is? Do you know what a fraction is? Well, we're going to find out. A fraction is a part of a whole thing. So you got this whole thing and you take a piece of it. So you can have one big cookie and you take a piece out of it. You're doing fractions. A fraction is shown by placing one number over another number. A line separates the number. So that's what a fraction looks like, okay? Macintosh. Here is one whole Macintosh apple. This type of apple can be both a drink and a snack. A Macintosh is very juicy, but it is also crunchy and fun to eat. So, you see, this is one whole apple, right?
Yeah.
If you would like to share one apple with someone, what would you do?
Cut it in half.
You will cut it in half? Okay. Cut it in pieces? Okay. 2 kids, 1 apple. A solution would be to divide the apple into 2 parts. A stem for 1 kid and the apple for another. No, that's not fair. So if I gave a stem to one person and I gave the whole apple to another person, is that fair?
No.
So what would I do?
You give the skin to somebody?
No, we just cut the apple in half.
Or in pieces.
Yeah, or in pieces. Because see, if I give you this and I take this, who's eating the apple? It would be me. You're eating the stem and I'm eating the apple. So it would be me. Okay. 1/2. See, 1/2?
1/2.
So we're going to start in a minute. We're going to do something. We're going to take and divide some blocks to do some fractions. How about a better way? Divide the apple into 2 equal parts. Here is 1/2 of the apple. Say 1/2. Say 1/2.
1/2.
Here's the other half of the apple. 2 kids, 1 apple, 2 halves. Sharing apples and learning fractions is fun. So, if I have, say, 1 block, that's 1 whole block, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I want you to have a part of the block and you to have a part of the block, what do I need to do? I would have to cut the block in half. So we're going to work with fractions today. What are we going to work with today?
Fractions.
Fractions. And fractions is doing what? Who can tell me how do you make a fraction? How do you make a fraction?
Add it and then you
Take it away.
right.
How do you make a fraction? You take a whole of something and what? Take a piece out of it. and you're doing a fraction. You're giving somebody a fraction of it. Golden Delicious. So now we talked about Macintosh apples. Now we're talking about Golden Delicious. How many of you like apples? You like apples? Okay.
Yeah.
This apple is called a Golden Delicious. Can you say Golden Delicious?
Golden delicious.
On the outside, it has thin skin. On the inside, the fruit is soft. Have you ever had an apple like that?
No.
Where it's kind of thin on the outside, the skin, and then on the inside, it's kind of a little mushy?
Yeah.
Okay, 3/3. What if 3 friends, hey, what if you had 3 friends and they want to eat this apple? 3 friends, 1 apple, 3 equal parts. So you can take and divide this apple into 3 parts.
We can cut it with
You cut it and you make it, but it's still how many apples?
1.
It's still 1 apple. Oh, Lord, my leg. Okay, now 1/3. 1/3. So here is 1/3 of the Golden Delicious apple. So we only took, so you cut it in 3 parts, right?
Yeah.
And you took out 1. So let's do it like this. Say this is a whole. That one was a whole. So, but there's 3 parts, right?
Yeah.
So if we want to do 1/3, how many do we take out?
3.
No, 3 makes a whole. But we want 1/3 out of it. How many blocks will we take out?
3, 2, 1.
We would take out 1. 1 block. Because there was 3 different pieces, right?
Yeah.
And we only want 1 of those 3 pieces. So we take 1 out. So that makes 1/3. Now, if I want 2/3, how many pieces will I take out? There's 3 pieces, but I want to take 2. I want 2/3. How many pieces will I take out?
2.
Very good. I'll take 2 pieces out. Now, I want the whole thing. How many pieces will I take out?
9.
I would take out all 3 or none. If I want the whole thing, I'll just leave it the way it is, right? Okay. So let's get through this book. Here's what's left over from 1 whole apple after taking away 1/3. 2/3, 1/3 plus 2/3 equals 3/3. 3/3 is the whole apple. We're not going to get through this whole book. We're going to do some of it tomorrow, even though tomorrow is science, but we're going to do this last part. And then we're going to do some hands-on math, okay? Now, Granny Smith. How many of you have you ever had a Granny Smith? You had a Granny Smith apple? Do you like those? What do you know about Granny Smith apples?
It's a little sour.
A little sour. Absolutely.
Well, I haven't tasted them.
You haven't tasted them?
No.
Yeah, I like Granny Smith apples. They're really good. Do you prefer red apples or green apples?
Green.
You prefer green? You like that tart to them? Okay, let's talk about the Granny Smith apple. This is a Granny Smith apple. It is right. Is it ripe?
Yes.
Just because it's green, is it ripe?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, a Granny Smith is green, even when it's ripe and ready to be picked off the tree. This apple is sometimes hard to chew. It is not sweet. It is a little sour. You are absolutely correct. What if 4 people in a family want to eat 1 Granny Smith apple? Want to eat 1 Granny Smith apple. The apple would need to be divided in 4 pieces. So we've taken here, and let's make this even more realistic. So Granny Smith is green, right? So we're going to take 4 green blocks, but this is 1 whole apple. This is 1 whole apple, right? And how many pieces is it cut into?
4.
Do you see 3 or 4? How many pieces is it?
4.
Very good. There's 4 pieces. So we want 4 people to have a piece of this apple. So it's 1, 2, 3. We'll give 4, each one of you a piece of the apple. So let's see what happens. So this is 1. Say this is 1 because it's still whole. Even though we cut it into 4 pieces, it's still how many apples?
1.
It's still 1 apple. And how many pieces did we cut it into?
4.
It's cut into 4 pieces. Okay, now let's see what's going to happen. 1/4. Each family member would get 1/4. So they'll get 1 out of 4. The top number of a fraction called the numerator. Can you say numerator?
Numerator.
The top number of a fraction is a what?
Numerator.
It's a numerator. The numerator of this fraction is what? What is the numerator of this fraction? What is the numerator? No, the apple. We got an apple, and we want 1/4. The numerator is what? It's the top number of a fraction. So what is the numerator of this fraction? What is it? What is the top number? It's 1. 1 is the numerator. It's the top of the fraction. The bottom number of the fraction is called the denominator. Can you say denominator?
Denominator.
The bottom number of a fraction is called what?
Denominator.
The bottom number of a fraction is called what?
Denominator.
The denominator. What is the top number of the fraction called? What is the top number called? No, it's called the numerator. Now, what is the bottom number called? Denominator. What is the top number called?
The numerator.
And what is the bottom number called?
The numerator.
Denominator. What is the top number called? Numerator. And what is the bottom number called? What is the top number called? Very good. And what is the bottom number called? No, let him do it. What is it called? Numerator is at the top, but I want to know what is the bottom. What is the bottom? Denominator. Okay. The bottom number of the fraction is called the denominator. The fraction 3/4 has a numerator of 3, and the denominator is what? What is denominator? 4. Very good. The denominator is 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our own fractions. Okay, so if I want to make a fraction, I want to make a fraction of 3/4. So here's all of these blocks. All right, Shivari, what is my numerator? I want 3/4. What is my numerator? What is my numerator? What is my numerator? If I want 3/4, what number is the numerator? Is the numerator the top one? So how many blocks will I need? That's my what? That's my denominator. My denominator is at the bottom. 3/4. 3 is at the top, and that's my what? That's my what? My numerator. 4 at the bottom is what? My denominator. So, if I want 3/4, Shamar, what is my denominator?
4.
Very good, because 4 is where? 4 is where? Is it at the top or the bottom?
The bottom.
The bottom. Very good. Now, if I want my numerator out of 3/4, what is my numerator?
Numerator.
What number is my numerator?
1.
Have we dealt with the 1 at all? We've only dealt with a 3 and a 4, right? So we've only dealt with a 3 and a 4. So what is my numerator? If it's 3/4, and what is my numerator? Have we dealt with 5?
3.
Very good. 3/4. We're only dealing with 2 numbers, 3 and 4. Either 1 is at the top and 1 is at the bottom. So our numerator is 3 and our denominator is 4. So this is what it looks like in blocks. This is my denominator, it's 4. This is my numerator, it's 3. This is 3, 3/4, okay? So, what is my denominator? Look at the blocks. What is my denominator? What? Okay. I didn't already miss what's going on. Okay. This is 3/4. 3 is my numerator, is at the what? The numerator is where at? The top. The denominator is 4. It's at the bottom. Okay? So this is at the top. This is at the bottom. What is my numerator? What is my numerator? Look at it. Which one is my numerator? The orange ones or the green ones?
The orange one.
Very good. The orange ones, that's my numerator. What is my denominator? Which one, orange or green? No, that's my numerator. The green ones are my denominator. So today we're going to take and we're going to do fractions and we're going to take and do some addition. How does that sound? Okay? All righty.